What's definitely helped me when I was building up was being able to keep that line as lean as I possibly can. So I'm not saying you guys need to do this. This is going to come into, again, of your own wheel of life, what's important to you. But what I can say is this. If you're prepared for a year or two, or if you're younger, I would suggest you do it for a bit longer. The leaner you can keep that line, and the more you're above that line, that bit there is the bit that really starts to build your wealth. Does that make sense? It might be 100 grand a year that your expenditure is, or 200. Let's call it 100. But if you're on 101 grand, you're spending 100 and you've got 101 coming in, you're not moving very fast. Does that make sense? It's going to take you 10 years just to build 10 grand. Where if you can drop that down and look and go, do you know what, this is a 3 or a 5 year plan or something like that, and I'm going to stay lean on this for a period of time to try and maximise that bit there, that's where it really starts to compound. Because if you can get a 10 grand gap or a 20 grand gap on that, after 5 years you've got 100 grand. Well, 100 grand, if you've invested that in somewhere solid, at 20%, that's going up at 20 grand a year now by itself. Can you see that? So it really starts to compound. You might have seen me post on this on my own post the other day. If you didn't have a look at that particular post that I did, the sacrifices that I made in the early stages, where me and Gemma had 100 grand a year coming in, and that was as far back as 2006. Sadie wasn't born until 2009. And I talk about on that poster, I bought her a second-hand pram. It was a 50 quid pram, and you'd have never have known. It looked absolutely brand new. I was driving a £170 car when I was on 100 grand a year. And when I was on that camp, the recruits used to take the piss out of me because they've just joined the army and they're driving around in their nice 15 grand Golfs and stuff like that. And I'm driving the Purple Lizard, a purple Vauxhall Corsa that was L-Reg, and it used to get wet underneath if it rained. It used to come through the bottom. But I knew in my head I was playing a longer term game. So I was all right with them laughing at me and taking the piss out of me. Corporal Green, have you seen his fucking car that he drives? Like, why is the fuck's he driving that? But that extra income that I had, all of that was just being reinvested. It was just going into other things that was building over that period of time. I'm not saying you need to do that. You might look at it and go, I don't want to do that. I'd rather this line be less, and I'm not impacting my way of life right now. All as I'm saying is, if you can drop that down and you can look at things and go, right, can I be a little bit leaner on things? Is there a way I can be a little bit more efficient or make a little bit of a sacrifice for 2 or 3 years and bring that down? If you can do the opposite and you can lift that up at the same time and you now start to do this, okay, that's when you're going to see a real benefit. So if you were able to pull this down a little bit and keep that lean, and for a bit of a period of time you go, do you know what, I'm going to work a Saturday job, or I'm going to do a little bit more overtime or something like that. That's where that line starts to go up the other way, and you've got that going on. One's coming down, one's going up. My dad retired when he was 46 I think, in 11 months, I think he said he was on that video. And he didn't make a lot of money. He worked at BP, he was on about 28 grand a year. I know I'm going back, what am I going back, 20 odd years ago. Might be a 35 grand salary now, 40 grand salary now. But what he was good at was just taking that money and just putting it into things and just investing above the line. And all of that ended up, his pension got to a point where he looked and went, my house is paid off. He lives on, I think, 18 grand a year. He doesn't fucking do anything, so his pension alone pays for what he does. His wife's got a bit of a pension and that as well, so he decided to retire at around the age of 47. Personally, I couldn't think of anything worse. It's not for me, but some of you guys might want that. You might think that, no, do you know what, that's the life I'd rather have. But what I'm saying is, he also done that too, okay? He had that buffer and it was just going into things, into his pension, and that's what allowed him to do that.